But we're hoping like this week we'll have a lot more to talk about next week because of the combine and stuff like that, and we'll go over some prospects we're looking at, who the Cowboys met with and stuff like that. I'm excited for that. But let's go ahead and pull up our mock draft here. Before we get started, I believe the last time we did no trades, if I remember. And so what I'm thinking, Chris, is we can do one trade down. I think that's going to be on the table. Worst case, we stick and pick, just because we like to have fun with this, right? So let's go ahead and let's get things started. Oh, crap. That was fast. Let's see who. Okay, so Genty's there.
James Pierce, Mike Green. On this board, there's nobody I'm even considering other than Ashton Genty, because Pierce and Green, I like them, good players, but I don't know how much of a scheme fit they are here.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're probably looking at, Shamar Stewart, I think would be a guy that I think would be like a better scheme fit, or Michael Williams, but you're not drafting those guys at 12. To me, look, Ashton Genty is going to impact your football team in more ways than just running the football. He's a guy that, when you get into your empty formations, you can line him up as a receiver, and that's very useful because then you can get into certain checks. If you see that they're playing him a certain type of way when he's a receiver, like, they're gonna roll out there with a linebacker. Cool, we'll throw the ball. Hey, they're lining out there in light personnel. We're gonna run the ball. Certain things like that, I think, are underrated aspects to it. And here's the thing: I know a lot of people are talking about, hey, Ashton Genty, he could potentially be just a guy that's here for 5 years and not get a second contract. Well, my question would be this: what if he is one of these running backs that shows you that he's a guy that can play later into his 20s and early 30s? Then at that point, you're probably looking at a new quarterback, because Dak will be 36, 37 years old at that point. Genty could be an asset for the next quarterback as well. So that's why I'm taking Genty.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody's willing to come up the draft board, correct? Because I see 0 on the trades. Yeah, so I think we'll go with that. We'll go with Ashton Genty and then we'll check back in the first round, because I'm really curious, if you don't mind. I just wanted to see who went before we took Ashton Genty. So let's see. Okay, that's kind of what I expected. Ted McMillan going there. Okay. And that would be shocking, like just seeing if the board fell like this would be crazy. But let's go ahead and let's get to round 2. Let's see what's going on here. So let's see who wants to trade first before we think about.
I'm not me personally, I wouldn't trade out
of this. I wouldn't either. I was just curious to see who was there.
There's too many good players on the board for me to trade out of this. Just looking: Jihad Campbell, Xavier Watts, Landon Jackson, Jack Sawyer, JT, Tuimalau, and Tyler Booker.
Mm-hmm.
There's just too many good players on this board. If I could have went back to like 48, cool, because then even if Watts, Campbell, and Booker are off the board, or some combination, you still have a player that you like. But, me personally, it really depends on what they do in free agency, right? Because if they go out there and sign Will Hernandez, or, because that's the name.
I think they're going to. I think they will. So what I'm thinking we do is I'm thinking we take Campbell here, get another linebacker, put in the room, and we kind of just go from there.
Yeah, I feel good about that as well.
All right, let's see. Holy crap. All right, let's see who we got.
Josiah Stewart, Travion Henderson, Jalen Royals, Jonah from Zona, Gunnar Helm. Out of these guys, well, let's see if we can trade back.
Yeah, I want to trade back. Let's see.
6 spots. I'm definitely willing to do that. Step back 6 spots. And 136 would be a 4th round pick, right?
Let me look. I'm pretty sure it is. What is it, Seattle?
Seattle, yeah.
1 second. I'm pretty sure it is. I just don't want to be wrong and be like, oh no. 136 is a 4th round comp pick.
Cool. So I'm going to offer that trade.
Awesome.
So we step back in the draft, and Jalen Royals is there. wide receiver from Utah State.
I think I saw Tez on the board. I would probably look to go for it with him.
Tez is on the board, correct. But I
Yeah,
mean, like, I would
mhm.
look to trade back again, to be honest with you.
Yeah, and I don't. Yeah, I mean, we don't have a problem with that. I don't particularly care, but I'm just kind of like, hmm, who would want? Well, who wants to come up the board though? That's the question. Aside from Jacksonville, I think.
Jacksonville,
Or click on the. Let's see who else wants to come up.
New Orleans at 93.
Okay.
Could you drop back 6 spots? I still think you can get a receiver here because I'd be looking at receiver. You
Yeah, I
got
think.
Harris, Tej Johnson.
But you got to remember, look, with the teams that are, because that's the thing too, is I know that with how this receiver class is going to look, by the time if you trade back again, you're probably not going to have another receiver on the board until late. That's why I'm cool with taking Tez Johnson because you need a dude like, I personally think you need a dude like that on your team. Um, I'm not sure, like, where would you think the Cowboys should go in this direction, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean, me personally, I want I want a little bit of a bigger receiver because I mean, like Tej Johnson, I like him a lot, but I mean,
Let's put the Cowboy hat
smaller,
on. Yeah, let's put.
smaller,
Mhm.
smaller, speedier receiver. I kind of already have that with Turpin. Depending on what they think of Turpin, and I mean, I like Tej Johnson, but
Do
I
you
don't.
think they would go with Royals in this situation?
I think they'd go. I think they'd go
Because
Royals.
I think they see. Here's the thing: is like my heart would tell me take Tez Johnson here, but I know how the Cowboys are with their measurables with receivers. They like dudes that are over 6 foot and are built a certain way, and I think he fits the mold of that.
So should
Let's
should
let's
we?
just, let's just take Royals and kind of go from there. Just kind of thinking what the Cowboys would do. And I know Trey Harris was on the board too, but again, like I do like hmm, that would be interesting.
Jackson Dart, Quinn. Me personally, I'm not as big of a Jackson Dart fan as
I
a lot of
don't.
people.
I have him as a fourth round grade, so this would be perfect. But again, I don't. Honestly, you know what? Let's have some fun with it. Let's take Jackson Dart in round 4. Cowboys want to. We just talked about how the Cowboys want a quarterback.
Yeah,
Let's go with that.
here we could look this direction with Luke
Yeah,
Kuechly
I've been doing a little bit on the
or Quincy Riley, even though those numbers don't look very good.
I'm trying to.
CJ West is a guy I mean, me personally,
You want
I'd
to just
stay here and draft CJ West.
let's do it, man. Hey, he's been, again, just being members of Big Ten football, we know how he is, so
And then I
uh,
would look to even go with another linebacker. I like these 3 guys, Cody Simon,
mm,
especially
Linden.
Stutzman.
Lindenberg's a guy that I like out of Minnesota. Again, I'm a bit more skewed towards the Big Ten, mainly because again we watch a lot of Big Ten football. With me being Penn State guy, you're Ohio State guy. Um, yeah, I think that you kind of again you got to get bodies in that room, dude.
So where are we thinking here?
What do you think? Would you prefer Simon or would you? Because I know you're an Ohio State guy. What do you think about?
I like Cody Simon a lot. If I'm just going off because I haven't really done a deep dive into these guys just yet. It looks like Cody Simon they ranked the highest with
Yeah,
their PFF score.
I
So I like
mean, yeah.
Simon.
Okay. I mean, hey, I took the last pick. We're more than happy to go with Cody Simon here for this pick, and then again we're on the board again. Not too long after that. Um,
There's 2 people that you could potentially look at. You could potentially look at Caden Priskin. I don't even know how to say his last name. But when you look at his measurables, 6'6", 255 pounds,
mhm,
maybe that's what is it? Ball of clay type of guy that you could
mhm.
look to develop. Already took the quarterback. Maybe you look at Jonah here, the center, or Emory Jones as depth, or maybe you add Tim Smith, add to that defensive line room, or you can go
Yeah,
cornerback here.
yeah. Yeah, so like typically when you get into the fifth round, you're kind of just starting to take flyers on guys and stuff like that. So to me, I would say that another name to keep an eye out on in this process is going to be Jake Majors, the center out of Texas, just as a heads up. Um, but I would say, honestly, I'm just thinking where I would go in this instance. I think that hmm, I'm thinking I'm just thinking how this draft might pan out. So I'm thinking,
I know where I would go here.
yeah,
I'd go Braden Swinson.
okay, that's fine.
That's who me personally. I think
Yeah, I'm just thinking like, yeah, like I'm like, where else are you gonna go? And then I would say that maybe for this pick, I would say you would take a flyer on, because like with you bringing Dart in, you bring in his tight end as a familiarity piece with, with
true.
Caden. Yeah, so let's go with that. Let's see who else is on the board. Like I said, I'm thinking take Jake Majors here. Let's just do that. The center.
We can roll with that.
Again, we're kind of getting into the weeds, so it's like it doesn't matter.
Tyler Sko. I mean, a lot of people are very high on him, but he's not going to be around here. They're going to draft him a little higher. I'd go with Elijah Clark.
Yeah, let's go for it. Know my Syracuse people, just because got people that went to Syracuse, so good stuff there. Like I said, we're in the
Nazir Stackhouse, maybe. I don't know. I think I know where they'd go here. I think
yeah, yeah. Like that's been our thing, is like they're gonna take Shiloh in the 7th round. Let's
draft him.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's have some fun with it.
Let's see.
Like I said, I don't care about a 7th round. Yeah, we got an award. How did we do? What was A minus? That's probably, I think that's the highest grade we've got. You know why? It's because we took Gaddison and they keep having him as an F, so it's weighing down the whole draft class. I'd honestly, I think if this was the draft, I'd give it like maybe a B plus, I would say. I mean, I'm pretty hard on myself when it comes to grading draft classes and stuff like that. But no, I think that was a pretty good draft, I would say. I mean, I think that's the first time I've seen Jackson Dart available on day 3.
Yeah.
And that's probably going to be the only time you're going to see him available on day 3. So, yeah, man, I mean, it's